Welcome to another episode of Alpha Intuition Podcast, where I'm here to help you become the CEO of your life. I'm your host, Keisha L. Blair, aka Keisha the Electrician. And if this is your first time watching, please make sure that you like and subscribe and share this with somebody that you almost like. Now, Alpha Intuition family, today's guest brings a powerful message about transformation, healing, and purpose. She is a communicator in every sense of the word. She's a speaker and a poet, an award-winning indie screenwriter and playwright, a self-published author of 8 books, and a U.S. Navy veteran. She's also the founder of Thomas Creative Solutions, where she helps first-time women authors, especially those that have experienced trauma or major life transitions, find healing through writing and publishing their stories. Affectionately known as the Procrastination Bully, she helps women push past fear and delay so that they can finally write, finish, and release their stories into the world. And she's the host of Getting the Win Show, where she continues to amplify powerful voices and untold stories. Alpha Intuition family, it is my absolute honor to welcome Mellissa Thomas, aka Mellissa T, aka the Procrastination Bully, to the show. What is up, Mellissa?
What's up? Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I truly appreciate you. Look, I was reading through all your bio and listening there, and I'm thinking like, I feel some type of way as I'm reading through this because I feel like she's talking about me and she ain't even on the show
yet. Yeah, let's go.
Like all this fear and all this delay, knowing I got to get my book out. I know, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay.
Exactly.
Let's get into the show. All right. So for the people who don't know you, why don't you tell me a little bit just about your journey and how you got to the point to where you are now, to where you help women to bring their stories to life?
Sure. So I got here by being the avatar, to be honest with you. I am, born in Jamaica, came up to the US at the age of 6 years old. And I don't know about the rest of y'all, like I grew up with disciplinarian parents. My dad was a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force as a police officer. My mom worked for the JCF as a dispatcher. And they both come from agrarian families. So big on discipline and execution, like what you got to say, you the kid in the family. So you don't got no voice yet until you help with the bills, that kind of thing. So it took me a while to get into the rhythm of understanding that I have a voice. You know what I mean? Like it took several decades, to be honest with you, before I reached a point of realizing, yes, I have a voice, but yes, it's valuable. That last part was the part that took the longest for me to learn. But, I did the overachiever thing in school, straight A's all the time, because we Caribbean folks don't play. If it's less than an A, they mad at you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, overachiever. And to this day, I'm a learning geek. Like I love learning new things. I've learned languages, as you can see, lots of books behind me. So, and I think that's where my passion for teaching came from as well. Like, because not only do you learn something the first time when you learn it, but you learn it a second time when you have to teach it to other people. Absolutely. So that's always very rewarding for me. But yeah, like came up, went through the public school system, shipped off to the Navy at 18. And just a quick side note with the Navy part, because this is like, I'm still salty about this, Keisha. So in the state of Florida, there used to be a naval base where they used to offer boot camp. And the year 2001, that year when I decided to go to boot camp was when they decided to close that base, which left the Great Lakes base up in Illinois as the only option in November. So I missed Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, and I was freezing all the months for boot camp. When we had a base that was down here that they just happened to close out, and it was in Orlando. You know what I mean? Like not far from where I live. So yeah, just a side note. I'm still salty about that.
Wow. Now I don't even, and as you said that, I was thinking, I have an event in December in Chicago. I urge you got to buy clothes for Chicago in Chicago, because you can't buy nowhere else.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
You got to buy them up there because they are engineered for up there. Yeah, man. Like feeling the wind off of the Great Lakes is a different kind of wind. Like, let me just tell you that.
Yeah, because I remember I went in the summertime to Chicago and it was cold. It was like, I think June and I'm like, why is it cold in June? I had a coat on at night in June. This is just crazy. That weather crazy up there.
Yeah. It's very interesting. But To be honest with you, I say I'm salty, but to be honest, I do appreciate the experience I had. Like I do appreciate that because being in the military, the one thing that you learn, if you don't already know it going in, you're definitely different by the way you like by the time you come out, which is team cohesion, like
Mm-hmm.
the importance of relying on one another.
Yes.
And you're surprised at what you're able to endure. Like you learn your limits in boot camp. Like there's certain things you're deprived of intentionally because they want to see how long you can last. And yeah, you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about your endurance. So to your question about how I ended up here, that
Yeah.
experience was one of those pivotal experiences for me, like learning what I was capable of enduring, like learning the lengths of my patience. So like I served in the Navy for 5 years. I served in Naples, Italy, and then I
Mm.
did two back-to-back ships based out of Guam. Like on paper, they're out of San Diego, but they're what's called forward deployed,
Mm-hmm.
which Guam is a lot like Florida. So I felt right at home serving over there. It's a smaller version. Like Italy is shaped like a boot. Guam would be the sock that you put on before you put the boot on. It's adorable. Um, so, served in the Navy, had some incredible experiences, learned another language because I picked up Italian while I was over there.
Nice.
Yeah. Somebody got to babysit. You know what I mean? Everybody loves to
Mhm.
drink. Somebody got to babysit and get us home. Right. So I was that mature friend that didn't drink a whole lot and
Mhm.
learned the language so I could communicate with the locals so we
Yeah,
could get home.
I like that. I want to learn Italian. I have Italian ancestry in my blood, and
Oh,
I
that's
don't
awesome.
know. I know maybe 2 words. That's it.
Well, have you learned a little bit of
No.
Spanish? Have you learned a little bit of Spanish?
Spanish and Italian are close.
They're very close. They're very
Really?
close.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if you've learned Spanish, it's real easy to transition into Italian. Yeah.
I took
Yeah.
French in high school. Don't ask me why.
It's no, so did I. I get you. So
Um,
like they're similar because they're all based from Latin. So
mm,
like Romance languages are similar. But
okay.
yeah, that was a incredible experience. And then going to school straight after that. So I went to Full Sail University, which is based out of Winter Park, Florida, right next door to Orlando, just in case you're wondering where that is. And I took a bachelor's in film and a master's in entertainment business. So
Okay.
that set me on my trajectory of being a creative. Because while I was in the Navy, I had what I call a boring desk job. I worked supply. I was MVP in there. They loved the supply people, but I knew I couldn't do that for 20 years. I'd have been bored out of my mind. I'm a creative. I couldn't
Mhm.
do it for 20. God
Mm.
bless the people who did, you know what I mean? But I couldn't do that. But got my film degree and the entertainment business master's degree. So the master's was the first seed into what I'm doing now, like as a business owner, because that degree, the entire purpose of it was you building your business plan. It was a 13-month
Mm.
program, and each month you're learning another section of your business plan and what's necessary for you to build it out. So that was incredibly valuable. From there,
Yeah.
9 straight grueling years of the news media industry.
Ooh.
I helped build one of the fastest growing news outlets owned by a person of color, Florida National News, and then the umbrella company Florida News Network. Like I helped the founder from its inception, and we grew it from a team of 3 content creators to a team of 33. And this platform that we're on, I learned it during the pandemic because we had to
Nice.
pivot. Yeah.
Mhm.
So at the peak of the pandemic, I single-handedly created 7 different shows. Like we had
Mm.
online nonstop streaming programming. So as we get deeper into this conversation, you that's listening, this is when we get into like the deeper parts of burnout and why it's so dangerous.
Yes.
So that point of burnout is what brought me to where I am today. Like experiencing the burnout, coming into ET's UOU mastermind
Mm.
and being introduced to a community of people who care and value my voice, people like Keisha, I so appreciate her,
Mhm.
and regaining the confidence in my voice to then help other women who have lost their voice or forgot how valuable it is. Like, that is why I do what I do now. I have 14 years of editing experience. I was freelance before, but once I joined the UOU Mastermind in 2023, I was like, let me make this an actual business so I can help more women find their voices and get published.
I love it. So then, as you were talking about just the journey that you went through, as far as going through the different, I guess you call it weeks through the planning, that's similar structure to the UOU Mastermind, to the inner circle, because we have to, they put it in, is it 13 weeks? I think it's 13 weeks to get you that business plan to where you bring it to fruition, but it's an entire year. And I'm gonna tell you guys this. I don't know if you guys know this, but when Dr. Eric Thomas says extreme execution, he means extreme. We have already been, I think today may have been the first day that we didn't get up. I didn't get up at like 4 a.m. Because I'm in Central Time Zone. So I have to be on a call at 5 a.m. in the morning. It's like, so I'm up every morning. And it's like, I'm trying to wake up and he on the call, like he already got finished running like a couple of miles. It's like, what time? It's like, I just learned.
3 a.m. He's still about that life.
3 a.m. You know what I mean? It's like, man, y'all ain't ready. I wasn't ready, but I'm getting ready so I can stay ready. So I ain't got to get ready. But it's definitely it's a different cadence and a rhythm that you're on when you're with someone that operates and functions at that level. It causes you to bring your skill up. You can't stay down here with somebody who's up here. So I could only imagine. And you said you started in the mastermind when? You said in 2023?
2023.
So you've been in for 2 years and some change now. So I can only imagine. So I'm looking forward to the next round because, I'm thinking like, people always say, well, why would you spend that much? You have to be in the room to understand. If you know, because I'm already excited about going through it again because I'm in here as a +1. And next time I want to be the person to where I can have somebody else be my +1 just so I can go through it to develop my own business because it's just a different experience when you get to a peek into the mind of #1 motivational speaker in the world. And he shares different things with us in those meetings. And people are like, how do I get into the room? Like you said about your parents, you want to have a voice, it's going to cost you to pay. And you got to pay to play. So if you
know
want
what I'm saying?
That game and have your voice be heard, yes, it's just like Mellissa said, when you were in the room, if you cannot contribute, then there's no need for you to be there. So
exactly.
I'm going to say that if you want to add something on that, because I've only been in for a couple of months and I'm just ecstatic. People have told me just the difference that they see in me. And of course, you don't see yourself growing, but when I look back, it's like, okay, I can kind of see it, but it's all because of being in that room.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes a difference. I'll say this, for you listening, if you've been following E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher and his whole crew on the SOS podcast, like you'll notice the shift in his tone now. He's a lot more detail oriented and a lot more precise. It's showing now in the mastermind, those of us who are in it. Because I can tell you, Keisha, like in 2023, I was in cohort 2. The folks in cohort 1, like it was a very fluid structure in the mastermind. They were just meeting virtually. Like they were meeting and there was, they would have their presentations or whatever. By the time I got in cohort 2, there was a little more structure to it. We were using software at the time. So what you're experiencing, Keisha, with the plan that we now have, like that roadmap, they basically switched from using the software to making it more in person. So we had our meeting earlier this year and then they gave us our plan. That was the human version of the software that we were using back in 2023. Yeah. So like, this is a lot smoother. It's a lot more tailored to each person. It's a lot more focused. But I think the thing that kept all of us in the room that are still here, because there's still, you listening, there's still some people from cohort 1 in the mastermind. And that was February of 2023. So like, we're in the room because 1, we love ET and he's a fantastic coach. But 2, we're an actual family. And that was the thing for me, Keisha, when I joined in June, like that was the thing for me. Like, oh my goodness, this is what my soul has been crying for. Like I needed another family. Because while I was doing my 9 years in the news media industry, great at what I did, and sure, I had a network in Central Florida, but it didn't feel like a family. Like it was still relatively professional. If they saw me, they recognized me, what's up? We show each other love, but it wasn't necessarily a family. once I joined the UOU Mastermind, that's what it felt like. It felt like these were my people, and they were like, "Where you been?" You know what I mean? And just like pulled me in. That was what I needed.
And what's crazy is that there's somebody in there that does whatever you need in that room. You know what I mean? Whatever you're looking for, there's going to be somebody in there that you need somebody to help you write a book. You need somebody to help you fix something. You need somebody to do some editing. You need somebody to help you move your son's stuff into his college dorm. You know,
Listen.
Shout out to Josh Jones. You know what I mean? It
yes.
was like he had Omega Sci-Fi chapter. He introduced me to the chapter president and had him to coordinate helping me move all of my son's stuff in his dorm. And it was just amazing because that was my 4th time I've done that. And trust me, it was a lot of carrying, a lot of lifting. You know, I've had to do that with my other children, but this time it was like one and done. It was like 4 people, bam, 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 and they was done. And I was like, wow. So I was able to take the time to set up and not really drain myself with carrying it up 2 flights of stairs, you know? So very, very appreciative. And let me tell you the best part about that is that people listen, because I didn't even know that, you know, he had that in his arsenal, and he just reached out to me to say, hey, if you need some help, I'm going to help. I'm like, wow. So when you talk about a family, but that's what family does. We take care of each other. So if you hear something, you do something, you know what I mean? You help somebody out. And I mean, just shout out to, I don't want to start naming names because there's so many people that are in that room that it's like, yes, we all bring something different to the table, but you know, all hands in. It's like full hands in, full hands out. It's like everybody's bringing something in and everybody's taking something away.
Absolutely. I agree. Hopefully you're not hearing any background noise. That's why I'm muted.
No. Awesome. I don't hear anything. No, you're good.
Awesome. That's good. But yeah, the beautiful thing about the mastermind, not that we're promoting this thing for the whole episode,
but it's so beautiful. You can't help it.
Yeah. Like the reason I'm bringing it up so much is that it has been so pivotal to what I do now. Like it's been very instrumental because, and here's the magnitude of someone who makes a difference, you who are listening and watching. Even before the UOU Mastermind was launched the second time, I was already experiencing momentum in my life, Keisha. So they did the UOU Summit first, which was the free virtual event where they were going to lead people into the mastermind, like to pitch the mastermind afterward. We had the Facebook community. So we're meeting everybody in there. Everybody's saying where they're from. I connected with 2 other young ladies who are in Atlanta because I had moved from Florida to Atlanta. Bookmark that. That's going to be an important part of my story. Bookmark that. So 2 other young ladies that were in Atlanta, and we were like, one of them proposed like, hey, let's have our own accountability call together. So the 3 of us, we got each other's cell phone numbers and we agreed 9 p.m. every single night. We would call each other, talk about our goals for the next day, and then talk about what we're going to accomplish. And then obviously execute the next day, 9 p.m. that next night. We're talking about what we were able to do that day, what we need to do tomorrow, whatever. You know what I mean? It was that kind of call long before I got into the mastermind. So because of that, I was able to create my LLC, set up my YouTube channel, create my website. And for the first time in like 6 years of wanting to make my own shirts, I was able to create my Shopify store.
Wow.
The month leading up to my enrolling in the mastermind, just from being a member of the UOU Summit. This is the power of being, to what Keisha was saying, being connected to somebody that's operating up here and you're down here and you want to meet the person up there. You know what I mean? Like you just start executing just based on being in the same space with them.
Absolutely. And it's like, and in those spaces, it's like the person is not just climbing and watching you down there. They're reaching back and say, hey, I can help you. You know what I mean? So that's one of the beautiful things about this. And we're going to talk about that move to Atlanta because I'm considering it. I just spoke that to somebody earlier today because I'm in Atlanta so much people think I live there now. But I thought, you know, it could be something that I'm thinking about having a dual residency between Memphis and Atlanta just because I'm out there so often. But you said something a minute ago about just you being in the field. As in the Navy and the things that you've done. So I know, you know, this season is called Leadership Lessons That I Learned in the Field. So let's talk about what is like one of the biggest lessons, leadership lessons that you learned being in the Navy that you carry into your career now.
Yeah. So I mentioned it earlier about the importance of operating as a team.
Mm-hmm.
That was the biggest lesson that I took from the Navy. Be honest with you, like being a leader now, that's still something I'm growing into. Like I'm somebody that typically operates alone because I'm a nerd like that. Like, and I usually operate as part of a team. So usually, if anything, I lead from behind. You know what I mean? Like I help the folks on my team be better in that way, not necessarily by being in the front, but usually I'll like help my colleagues, operate what they're doing to the best of their ability if they're struggling with anything. Because I'm versatile. Like I can learn anything very quickly. But the one thing I did learn in the Navy that I brought with me is that the importance of team cohesion. Like you
Mm-hmm.
cannot grow without that. Iron has to sharpen iron. It has to. You know what I mean? Or you're wasting your time, in my opinion. Like, because when you're part of a team and things are not harmonious or the iron is not being sharpened, then someone's going to be impatient and discontent. That's where you get burnout. That's where you get the sort of talking behind people's backs and whatnot. When it's not in harmony and it's not productive, it's time wasting, because
Yeah.
then you as the leader, you're going to have to go put out all those fires, within your team of people. So yeah, that's my biggest lesson.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I really believe that the best leaders that they lead from behind. They don't have to stand out in front because they've trained their people so well that
Hmm.
they know that they're going to watch them thrive, and when their team wins, they win. So yeah, you're a leader already. I could just feel it. I can tell. I listen to you and I watch you, so I
Thank you.
know that you are a leader. And then I know we need to talk about this, but I see that book up there, 365, and I didn't even know that you were the one who brought that book to fruition. So thank you, because I think that is an amazing book.
Yeah, that was quite the journey. So coming back to the mastermind, y'all. So what happened there was, this was, I want to say, like July. It was July
July.
2023. And I was in one of our morning accountability calls. This was back when, Keisha, this was back when the morning calls were 5 days a week, not
I
three.
heard
Okay.
about those.
So,
Woo.
yeah. So 6 a.m. Eastern time, 5 days a week. But during one of the morning calls, I heard ET talking about the book being the rough draft essentially being done, but he wanted an extra pair of eyes to comb through it and catch any more errors before they send it to publication. Can I tell you, I carpet bombed ETA that day. I DM'd him on Instagram, DM'd him on Facebook, put a comment in the Zoom chat while he was talking about it. ET, I got you. I can do it. I emailed support. Like I reached out to him as many times as I could, like as many different ways as I could reach him, because I knew I was the perfect person for the job.
That's right.
And as it turns out, one of the gentlemen that was in the mastermind in cohort one was the head of the team that was responsible for reading through the book. And he and I had already connected on a
Mm.
separate conversation to talk about his writing needs that he was going to need. And he got word after I reached out to ETA so many different ways. He was the head of that project team, so he found out I was that person. So then he was like, "All right, let's get on this call." So we got on the call. I shared my expertise, and he was like, "Bet, like
Mm.
you're on the team." And
Squeaky wheel
from
gets
there,
the wheel.
it was what's interesting is it was a team of about 5 of us, because ET, if you're familiar with the flight assessment, as I'm sure Keisha has shared with you guys, what ET was doing was using all 4 behavior styles to read through the devotional to make sure that the words appealed to each behavior style.
Mhm.
But here's what had happened. Okay.
What that
Originally,
happened
originally the finish date was going to be November, because they were going to publish it at
Mhm.
the beginning of the year, January 2024. That got moved up. Okay. We lost a couple of months. And so instead of having the wide window we had to edit the book, that time frame got shrunk down to 3 weeks.
Mm.
So what they did was, they have their ETA has their boss editor, like their top person. And he was listening in on the Zoom calls with all of us, with the 5 of us. And he was like, he told Ray in a separate conversation, like, you know what? Let's just use her. So then it came down to just me and Ray. That was the gentleman that was the project team leader.
I asked you if that who it was. I met him actually on a side on Terry Kauser's Wealth on Water cruise. So yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ray's amazing. So it came down to just him and me. 3 weeks. We knocked it out. And y'all see how big this book is. Like, it's not.
It's a Bible, okay? It says the Bible. It's a Bible. And it's small print, okay? It's almost got Bible-sized print.
You know what I'm saying? Bring your glasses. Yes, bring your glasses. Exactly. But
yeah, I was actually couldn't wait for that book to come out. I remember getting like the pre-order, getting the sheets before it actually came out. I think it was like the first 2 weeks that it gave us. So I got that. I downloaded my sheets and I was excited. I was ready. I think it went into a challenge or something like that.
Yep.
We went into the 30 days. Yeah. I was all over it, girl. I was right there.
Sure did. Yeah. So that was quite an interesting experience. And then as a result of that, like ET started connecting me with other people who needed their books edited. So like, that's to Keisha's point about being in the room. Like once you demonstrate your value, ET's going to take that seriously and he's going to plug you in with people that need what you offer. So for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's almost like, use Oprah, for example, like, Oprah's book club. Oprah puts her stamp on it. You already know it's about to happen. ET put his stamp on it. You already know it's about to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, and I'm sure he knows that, but we, the ones we don't take that for granted. I know I don't take it for granted at all.
No. Mm-hmm. You gotta be prepared.
Absolutely. You gotta stay ready. You gotta stay ready because you never know. You definitely don't want an opportunity to present itself and then you're not ready.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. So I want to talk about Procrastination Bully. Where you get that name from?
Yes. Hey, listen, that was inspired by God, to be honest with you. For you watching and listening, I'm a person of faith. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. So I follow the Holy Spirit when he's telling me to do something. And one of the things that we learned in the mastermind is to create a moniker. We learned, Nikki Saunders and CJ, like those are the branding gurus. Like if you want to blow up, follow them. Like they will show you how to blow up. And one of those things that they recommended is coming up with something that's uniquely yours, a moniker, like own your specific day of the week, like name it something, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I use Wednesdays, which is why my show drops on Wednesday. But yeah, the Procrastination Bully, because one, procrastination is something I have struggled with my entire life. And God was like, those are your people, because you know their pain points, you can speak their language, you know what they're thinking. So procrastination is what, like beating it is what led me to create the YouTube channel, the Getting the Win show. Mm-hmm. And that's how the content for that show began. Like I focused on productivity at first. And as such, I'm going to bully the procrastination in you, not bullying you, bullying the procrastination within you, because it is possible to overcome that, even if it is something that is recurring. Because there's some people who learn how to beat procrastination for good. And there are others of us who it's a recurring thing our whole lives. And we have to push through it every time. So that's where the bully thing comes from. Like, I'm here for the folks that not only beat it one time and they're good, but for the folks that constantly have to face it. Mm-hmm. Like, I got you. I'm reaching my hand out to you. I'm pulling you up with me.
Yeah. Like, as you're sitting there thinking like, oh man, that is, we have those moments. And I say, it's almost like, because as an air traffic controller, using the language from the flight assessment, because I know I'm really good. I'm detail oriented, but it's almost like I give myself permission to procrastinate because now I'm doing all this busy work. Mm-hmm. Busy work. And it's like, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to it. But I'm so busy, but I got this stuff. And then it's like, I allow myself to say like, it's okay, but it's really not okay. It's really not.
No. And that's one of the important lessons that I've learned, even in doing the show, which is about to be 2 years, if you believe it, in October 1st. It'll be 2 years old. But yeah, one of the things I learned is there are ways to be ruthless with your schedule. And that's those of us who are ATC, because I'm high ATC as well. I'm a different combination. Like I'm ground screw ATC.
Ah,
So
okay.
not only detail oriented, but I'm more of a routine kind of person. So
Yes.
it's real easy to fall into that lull of sameness. You know what I mean? And there are times when you have to break the routine. There are times when you have to. So learning that and teaching it to other people has been very helpful for me. Like learning to sit down and put stuff on my calendar. Like it's not enough to just write a to-do list. No, like put it on your calendar, color code it, and set multiple reminders. You might need that if you're listening. Set multiple reminders if you have to. If you have a thing at 2 p.m., set a reminder 30 minutes before, 10 minutes before, and at time. I do that. It helps. You know what I mean?
It really
It
does. And
helps.
I'm gonna tell you, well, people know I got color stuff all over the place. I carry highlighters with me. I carry sticky tabs. I keep the stuff with me because I want to make sure that I'm color coded. If you look at my computer, you probably just laugh because any color you can possibly think of sticky notes, they're here. But each color represents something in my mind.
Exactly.
I live by my calendar. Anytime I make an appointment, I'm putting it in my calendar, not so I can be on time, but because of how I function and how I operate, I don't want to let the person down that I told I was going to be there. So I made a commitment, and that commitment means something not only to me, but it means something to that person. And if somebody says they're going to do something for me, I would hope that they would make every point that they could to try to make it. So I do that for other people. And, that's my air traffic controller side because taking care of other people is very important to me. And then also pilot is my secondary. So yeah, I made that decision. Okay, I'm going to do this. I've made a decision, and it's like I take accountability for myself and for others. I'm an accountability coach too. I think I had to cut myself off to 5 people because they know if I tell you I'm going to be there, they know that I'm going to show up. So I push them to be there because I want them to know that it's important. Because you ask me, I take it very seriously. Don't ask me to help you do something because I'm going to make sure that you do it by any means necessary. So yeah, I totally get that about you being the procrastination bully because you help people to understand, okay, you just need somebody to help you. And that's where your ground screw comes in. I love that part.
Yeah. And sometimes it's even what you're talking about, going back to what I said about the UOU summit, just having that call with the 3 of us at 9 p.m. every night, like it lights a fire under you when you have someone else to report to. And
That's
it's not
right.
even something strict, but it's just you saying you want to do something and someone else asking you like, okay, where are you with that? Like, did you finish it? Just, it makes a difference.
It
So
really
even
does.
like I have a goal getter community right now on Telegram, and that's what we do in there. Like I have community work sessions like Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Like we get in there, it's a Zoom room. I put on chill music. Everybody is we start the call by saying what we're going to work on for that session. And then for that first hour, because it's 90 minutes, that first hour, I put on the chill music. We're doing what we said we were going to do. At 11, I check back in with everybody. Okay, where are we? How are we doing? And they'll let me know. And a lot of times they'll finish their task within that first hour. And then they'll move on to another task for the last 30 minutes. It's great. Like just having that extra push of someone else asking you about your commitments, it makes a world of difference.
That's very true because now it's like somebody is they're holding you accountable, but it's almost like, okay, I got to get this done. And most people will say, because I don't want to let that person down. It's almost like we have to attach meaning to it in order for us to get it done. I really like that. Oh, wow. I didn't even think about it like that because I know, so my community, Alpha Intuition, that was the next thing I was going to do was to start an accountability group because, I can only hold so many people accountable before I start to drop the ball. And that's why I don't drop the ball, pass the ball. So therefore, that's what I do is I cut myself off because I know what I can handle. But I said, okay, maybe it's time now because people are reaching out, wanting me to help them. I'm just going to teach you how to help each other.
Yes.
We'll have an accountability community to where, yes, now we can hold, you pick and choose who's going to, but I'm still holding everybody accountable, but I'm helping them to hold themselves accountable ultimately.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Like before I drop the ball, I'll pass the ball. That's really good. That's
Baby, I don't drop the ball. I really don't. I pass them. And I tell people that too. I don't drop the ball. I pass it because I know what my limit is. I'm not going to let my cup run over. Okay, I'm
I
at
like it.
capacity. Let me tell you right now where we are. So before we get to this point to where I say I got it and then we end up in a hot mess, no, I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. But you have to be, but that's the person thinking about people who drop the ball, that's because they think about themselves.
Mhm.
They're not thinking about the other person. They're thinking about the task. You're thinking about, I can do it. I can do it. I'm trying to shine. It's not about you. It's about the person that you're helping, and it's about the task that needs to be completed. So when that's my mission and that's my focus, okay, I know right here I need to bring somebody else in because I need some help. So
Yep.
people just need to be more aware of where they are in a situation to help them to understand. So I learned that a long time ago. Is that okay? I'm gonna cut myself off right here. I ain't taking no more projects. I'm not joining no more communities. I'm not taking no more responsibilities because I'm at capacity.
That it's very important. Very
Yeah.
important. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, like that, I had to learn that lesson while I was, in the news media job, because I like to tell people I was an editor in all three definitions of the word. I
Mm-hmm.
was an editor in the publishing sense because I oversaw a team of content creators. So if you look at any magazine like that, like the editor in chief, that was me. So
Ooh.
that's one definition. Number two, in terms of writing, I was the person responsible for cleaning up every bit of content before it went to the website and before it went on social media, all of it. So that editor. And then number three, all of our video content, I was the person editing all of our videos. Okay. So all
Mm.
three definitions of the word. You want to talk about burnout. Like it was important to understand my limits, but at that time I did not have my voice. I did not value it. So I did not communicate my limits, which is very important.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't start talking until it was way too late. Like at that point, I was already burnt out and started withdrawing. So one of the lessons that both I and the founder learned, coming back to the anecdote about moving to Atlanta, one of
Yes.
those lessons was understanding the value of your people and paying close attention when they cry out for help. And that was one of the things I explained to him. I said, listen, man, like, because he eventually did apologize to me because he didn't realize just how much I was being overworked.
Mm.
I said, listen, man, like, let this serve as a lesson. When your people cry out for help, listen to them.
Yeah.
Listen to them. Like if your right hand is doing everything and in your mind is doing such a good job at doing everything, and your right hand is finally telling you that it's time to find either a replacement or somebody else to help, listen.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And as I'm listening to you, so you now know we're both ATCs or traffic controllers, but you
Mhm.
having the grounds crew as a secondary, me having the pilot, I could see that that's where, because helping people is very, very, very important to you. So yes, you're going to take that on because you don't want to let them down. You're trying to help them. Whereas me, it's like my pilot will kick in like, okay, we good. You know what I mean? We ain't taking on no more. I'm cutting this off. Whereas as a grounds crew, I could see how it's like, no, I got to do this because helping people means a lot to you.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, and every time I have conversations like this, I learn more and more about myself and about the other personality types, which is why I love the flight assessment so much. Um,
Yep.
yeah, girl, I don't know why my nose keep running. Excuse me. It's like I'm sitting there like,
You're
we don't
human.
do
It's
that.
all good.
Exactly. Okay, so Getting the Win show. All right. So first of all, you're on YouTube at Getting the Win show. Is it at Getting the Win show? At Getting the Win show.
On YouTube, it's at Getting the Win.
At Getting the Win. Okay, on YouTube. So what do you try to promote on your platform, or what do
Yeah.
you promote on
So
your platform?
yeah, sure. So the Getting the Win show, basically, at this point, I've pivoted to the authorship, the focus of authorship. So I'm helping women who have navigated a trauma or transition find healing through writing and publishing their first book. But the beauty of the Procrastination Bully is that that applies even in the context of authorship. So we're still tackling all of the productivity principles. We're still tackling all of the personal development stuff because there is a transformation in you as you author a book. Like you start off with just your story, with just your trauma that you want to share, but you do encounter a transformation in simply becoming the person willing to share your story. Because when you have your transformation after dealing with your trauma or your transition, A
Mm-hmm.
part of you may want to keep it to yourself because you're like, I really don't want to relive this story. This was painful, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean? This was awkward, or this was embarrassing. So there is a level of growth that comes with being an author, with finding the language
Mm-hmm.
to express what you're sharing. Because even that was pivotal in my growth. Like joining the mastermind, I developed the language I needed and didn't realize that I needed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If I was in the mastermind while I was in the media business, I would probably still be in the media business. Like I would probably be sitting at somebody's news desk right now. You know what I mean? I was somebody that was always in the field in the media. Like I was the person holding the microphone in your face.
Mm.
But like at this point, I would be an anchor, like sitting at a news desk, tossing to somebody in the field, right? But there is a transformation that you experience becoming an author, and I'm walking the viewer through that on the show. So I'm going over the flight assessment. I'm like, you and I were both extreme execution certified coaches. So I walk folks through the assessment. I walk folks through the brass tacks of a book. So teaching people what a chapter layout should look like in terms of your content, like what goes into a successful chapter. Sure, I'm going to talk to you about the significance of a book cover and how you should research different ways to design yours that are going to be helpful. There's that. We get into the brass tacks of book creation, but I never abandon the personal development stuff.
Yeah.
There's imposter syndrome. There's how to deal with being triggered. I have episodes on both of those issues.
Mm.
You know, as you're writing your story and you're trying to recall what happened to you, talking you through that so you can still get to the other side of finishing your manuscript. You know, we're talking about, people that are concerned about the cost of making a book. I debunk that. People worried about whether or not their topic is significant. I touch on that in nearly every episode because I want to make sure every woman that's watching understands that their topic is significant. Like whatever they have to share, it's important and the world needs to hear it because somebody else is on the other side waiting for that survival guide that only you can author. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and you touched on this, but just the healing that you go through in that writing process. I mean, why is that so important for us? Because I'm gonna tell you this, I don't really like to journal, but I've learned that not only does it help me to get things out, but sometimes I have it as a reference manual to go back to because I actually looked for something one day. I'm thinking like, what did I mean? Or I was saying this and that. And luckily it was this year when I went through Ramadan and I forced myself to write things down as I was feeling in that moment because that was my first year doing it. And I wanted to make sure that I captured how I felt during those fasting periods. And as I journaled and I went back, I'm like, man, I forgot I even wrote this. So let's talk about why that's important for people.
Absolutely.
For
So
women.
for one, there's the power of writing, like the actual physical act of writing. There's something cognitively advantageous with that. I don't know the statistics, but I know that there is an advantage to it. And actually, in my episode yesterday, I talked about the opposite, which is people being too reliant on AI. There is a 47% drop, Keisha, 47% drop in our cognitive fitness when we become too reliant on AI writing for us. Like we have to keep writing for ourselves. We have to use our own voices and form our own thoughts. The brain is a muscle still. You know what I mean?
That's like muscles. That's like you working out. You'll lose that brain muscle. You
Exactly.
lose it if you don't use it. Yes.
Exactly. And to your point about healing, there is power in writing your feelings down. And one of the other things I share in my show very often is the importance of voice recording. Even if you don't like writing, okay,
that's
I get
my
it
right there.
Exactly.
I'm audiobook all day long.
Yes, exactly. And there is power to saying a thing and physically getting it off our chest. Because the beautiful thing about our bodies is that the body doesn't care if you're saying the thing to the person that hurt you or if you're saying it to an empty room. As long as you say it, your body will feel better. You'll become more regulated. So
Mm.
even voice recording the things you want to say, or voice recording your frustrations, voice recording downloads of inspiration that you get. Like, make sure you record that so you don't forget it. I'm big on that. Like, voice record that, jot it down, and do that on a daily basis. You'll be surprised at you'll be surprised at what comes out of you. Like, we are wise beings. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, we can come up with some amazing stuff. One of the things I like to share, in my podcast, because I do share my faith in my podcast, not forcing it on anybody, but since it's who I am, like, it's going to come out. But one of the things I like to say is, you are a luxury item. That's one of my hashtags,
Mm-hmm.
hashtag luxury item. Like, you know,
That's it.
God went all in on you by sacrificing his son. You know what I mean? Like, that is the ultimate investment. So the beauty of that is, not only did he invest in you, but he put his creative genius in you.
Mm.
It's there. So you'll be surprised what you can come up with when you're journaling, or what you come up with when you're voice recording. Sometimes you'll be talking to yourself. You'll say something, you're like, ooh, that resonated with me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever had moments like that, Keisha, where you're like,
Yes.
oh, that was talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's something powerful about that.
And I'm gonna tell you something that I do now with several of my friends, with a lot of people. I do audio text messages. For one,
Yes,
I don't have
voice
to.
notes.
Look, girl, I ain't got time to trying to go back and do spell check. So figure it out. And then sometimes I hate, they'll cut you off, but I used to only do like a minute or two. Now I have left people like 10-minute messages. It's like, how did I get to 10 minutes? Like a mini keynote. You know what I mean? So it's
Yes.
just like, because you like, it causes you to think, it causes you to use your brain muscle. So now I went from doing like a minute and a half to where now I'm doing like 10 minutes, and it pushes you to think more logically about what you're going to say.
Yes.
And I think about that. That's me, like getting those reps in for when I'm doing those keynotes.
Absolutely.
So I push people
Yeah.
to leave me audio messages back. Don't be texting me. I ain't got time to read all that.
Yeah. And I mean, like, voice notes, I learned that from ET, like the importance of doing that.
Yes,
Because then
all the
because
time.
then the other advantage of doing voice notes is that people hear your tone. And
Mm-hmm.
that's missing when you're reading just text. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So they'll hear your voice and hear your intended tone. So there's no like misunderstanding, like, hey, what you were trying to say with that? You know what I mean? Like, they understand what you were trying to say. And I love what you said. With each of those, it's reps. So now you're leaving TED Talks
There
essentially.
you go. And I've told people
You
too that,
know,
like, people will read a message in the way that they would write it, not in the way that it was supposed to be.
exactly.
So they can
Exactly.
read it totally different from how you chose to have it come across. But if they're listening to you and they can hear your tone, it's totally different. So that's another reason why I do it well. And I had this just happen last week where I sent somebody a message and they totally took it completely out of context. Well, I'm like, whoa, that is not what I meant. You know what I mean?
Oops.
So we had to come and do some damage control, but it was ultimately like just reminded me, okay, I need to start leaving those audio messages. So therefore, it's more clear on what I'm trying to communicate to that person.
Yep. I agree.
Mm-hmm. And then and also, I think about back to the flight assessment, where if it's someone that you're speaking to and you know what their personality type is, then it'll help you to connect with them a little better, because you can lean into certain things that that will be better for them as far as communication too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, Mellissa. So you have done so much. I'm listening to you, and like I've been seems like I've been knowing. I didn't even know all this. I'm reading your story. I'm thinking like, okay, she has been in the Navy. She's worked for the news. You did eight books. You've written books for prominent people. You've got all this stuff. So, when you think about your legacy, how do you want to be? How do you want to be recognized in years to come?
Yeah. I want to be recognized by my name. My
Mm,
name, Mellissa, means honeybee, which my calling is to help people blossom. Because what do bees do? They pollinate, right?
that's right.
My whole job on earth is to help people blossom, which is perfect since I'm grounds crew. And actually, grounds crew is actually my primary. The
I like
ATC is
it.
secondary, but
Okay.
they're like real close together. Like,
Yeah.
my grounds crew is like 97, my ATC is like 89 or something like that. Like, it's close.
Mm,
But yeah, my whole thing is helping other people blossom. And what's amazing about that, previously saw it like, oh, we need to be humble. Yes, it's important to do that. But within the last couple of years, I have seen personal stories of people who are like high priority people that are grounds crew. I'm seeing their results and I'm assuming they're pilots, right? Like one of the things that ET teaches us is like, if you want to be successful, tap into your pilot, right? Like be driven, right? But what's amazing is there are some ground crew, to your earlier point about leading from behind. That's what they do. Like there's
Yeah.
a young lady who worked, she was a coach for people like Usher and all these other celebrities. You would have thought she was a pilot. She's ground crew, like leading from behind, like coaching them, hearing what their goals are and making sure that they're elevated to what they said they wanted to do or be. So that's what I want to be remembered for, like elevating anybody I ever worked with
Yes.
to what they wanted to become.
I love it. That is, oh wow. Yeah, I could see that. And even as you're talking, I'm thinking about my own book because I know we've talked about my book before, Alpha Intuition, and I need to bring it to fruition.
Hello.
Like I'm feeling like some type of way over here because I know you talk about procrastinating. Like I think you slick talking about me. No, I'm just kidding. But let's talk about some of like your upcoming projects that you have because I know you have this book boot camp that's coming up. August
Yes,
31st.
ma'am. Yes, the Truth to Transformation boot camp. So 4 weeks, and I'm basically busting down one of the loudest pain points with that boot camp, which is I don't have time. And what's interesting is these days, like there's never been a better time to be an author because the process has been democratized. So there are people who can get books done in a weekend. Hello. Like my highest ticket item is a writer's retreat. I did my first one in March, 4 days. Everybody left with a rough draft.
Ooh.
Everybody left with a completed manuscript. It is possible to get a book done quickly. So with the book boot camp, I'm talking to the women who have been through a trauma transition. 9 times out of 10, these are busy moms, or at the very least, they have their 9 to 5 and their 5 to 9. You know what I mean? Like they have their main job and they have their side hustle or their business. So they're super busy. And even if they only have a 9 to 5, they're likely pillars in their community. So they're serving on multiple different boards. There may be members of their faith community that they're volunteering. So they're super busy. And I'm like, I got you 30 minutes a day for 30 days. I will have your book self-published ready, including editing by me. Like that is one of the biggest built-in benefits of this 4-week boot camp. So yeah, Truth to Transformation.
Wow, 4-week boot camp, 30 minutes a day.
In 30 days.
Weeks. So 28 days, you will have a book. So now let me ask you this. So what is the process like after, we get to that 4 weeks. We have, is it a manuscript that you have after the 28 days? And
yes.
Then, so now what would, just for people who are listening and say, okay, well, how do I take that manuscript and how do I get it to the stores?
Yeah.
How do I get it to where it's good? Because I know you talked about in the beginning about the cover selection and different things like that. So let's just say 28 days. Okay, I got the manuscript. How much longer would it take for me to make sure this book is ready to go? If I'm working diligently and following your steps, following your process, how long would it take me to have it on a shelf somewhere?
Yeah. So by the time we are done with the boot camp, it wouldn't be on a bookshelf because that's a slightly different publishing model. My focus is self-publishing. Yeah. So within mainly the first 2 weeks of that boot camp is the writing, like is the actual manuscript creation. The remainder of the time, we're focusing on marketing, getting your book cover designed, getting it edited, getting it bound, and getting it ready to be put out in the world. So by the end of the program, you would have your book page done. Like I'm pointing you to whoever can get your cover done for you. I'm pointing you to people who can help you get your book distributed out to different libraries and to independent bookstores, because there are ways to do that. So I'm pointing you to all of those resources. That's going to be the latter half. So the last 2 weeks of the book boot camp. First 2 weeks, we're making the book itself. Like I'm getting you to organize all of the ideas you want to include in the book, getting you to produce the content on the pages, and then getting you to that next step, which is the editing. And then, like I said, I'm the one that's editing. So I'm reading your stuff and cleaning it up. Like I and my team, we're reading your stuff and cleaning it up so you can start marketing.
And I'm gonna tell you like this, just from being on calls and even on here, just the the little things that you catch. Mellissa T is like the Steph Curry of editing. I'm telling you, she got laser focus. It's like, but how did you catch that? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, very, very good. When she talks about she edits scan, I don't know how she does it. Just like you don't know how Steph Curry makes those shots. I'm telling you, I don't know how she edits like she does. It's like, bam, she's got precision when it comes to finding those little bitty. Let's say finding a needle in a haystack. She gonna find it. Oh, there it is. So yes. Yep. Yeah, so I have experienced that. So, no fluff. She got you. All right. So, Mellissa, after all that, so you got the boot camp, you've done the retreats, you've done all of these things. You've written a book brought the book to fruition for the #1 motivation speaker in the world. What is next for you?
So, what is next for me is one, the boot camp. So let me give you the website, which is bootcamp.melissathomas.co/sign up. I know that sounds long, but I promise you, I got it. It'll come up on the screen. You'll be able to see it
across the bottom, and I'm gonna drop it in the comments too, so people will have it once this airs.
Absolutely. So there's the boot camp, prepping for that, and then for me, one of the reasons I wanted to also make this pivot is to show people I'm also learning out loud. So I have my own book that's going to come out towards the end of the year called the Pain to Pros Playbook, which I'm taking everything I'm teaching on the show, the Getting the Win show, like all the stuff I'm teaching everybody, I'm eating my own cooking. Like I'm showing the exact layout. Like you'll read in my chapters, the exact layout that I teach on the show. So I'm basically teaching women in that book how to take their pain and turn it into prose and publish it, including the procrastination stuff. I'm weaving the productivity principles into it because I share my story of burnout, the importance of community, the importance of accountability, and I'm weaving all of that into getting your book done. So they'll get that value the same way they get it in episodes on the show. Yes. They'll have it in one book.
And what did you say the name of the book was again? That's coming out?
The Pain to Pros Playbook.
The Pain to Pros Playbook. I love it. All right. So now let me ask you about the boot camp. So who is the boot camp for?
So the boot camp, as I mentioned before, is for busy moms who've been told they have a book in them, or entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, people who have that 9 to 5 and 5 to 9, but you have been through a trauma or transition in your life and you want to get that healing through publishing that book, finally getting it out. You've had the calling in yourself that you need to do it. People have told you you've gone through something and you need to tell your story. And you're like, all right, it's time for me to do this. I'm scared. I don't think I have enough time. I think this is expensive, but I'm going to take that step. I'm going to invest in myself. That's who this is for.
Okay. So now people who are watching, because, I have a lot of males that watch this show, if they wanted to join, would they be able to join as well?
I'm not turning you away. Like if you have a story, come on, like don't procrastinate. Let's get your story out of you too. If you're a gentleman and you've been through a trauma and transition, like I target mainly women, but if you're a gentleman, come on, like let's go, because your story is valuable. It's valid and valuable. I just said it in my episode yesterday. Your pain is valid and valuable, and the world need to know how you navigated through it so they can get through it.
Yes. All right. So let's tell people how they could find you. I know I have it scrolling across the screen, but for those that may be listening and not watching, tell them where they can go and find your services.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to the audiophiles. So the YouTube channel is at Getting the Win. That's YouTube. Instagram, Pinterest, and Threads at Getting the Win Show. And then I'm on TikTok, Mellissa T Writes. Mellissa T Writes. And of course, the bootcamp, bootcamp.melissathomas.co/sign up.
And that's Mellissa with 2 L's and 2 S's.
2 L's and 2 S's, spelled the British way.
That's right. I didn't know that, the British way. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was, again, I missed it when I put on one of what I did not know. That was the first time I've ever seen that actually with 2 L's. So like
yes, ma'am.
Very unique. I think if I put that in, I'm going to go directly to you. All right, Mellissa. Yep. So The very last question that I ask my guests on this show is about the name of the show is Alpha Intuition. So when you hear that phrase, what does it mean to you?
Alpha intuition. Wow. For me, that's that's the inner voice, you know. That's what that means for me. Like following the inner voice that is on the megaphone, like the part that is loud, um, but constructive.
Mm.
Loud but constructive, because there are times we'll hear stuff in here that's loud but not constructive, like it's not fruitful. So don't follow the one that's not going to serve you. Don't do that. But that voice in you that's loud but constructive, because there are times when that alpha intuition will lead you to do stuff that might make you uncomfortable but has an incredible result in the end. If that intuition is leading you to make someone else better, make yourself better, or make something else better, like improving upon something, then definitely follow that. Like tell yourself that the discomfort is going to make a difference. Like that's what it is. Because I'll be honest with you, remember, ground screw, I'm big on comfort and routine and sameness, right? But if the discomfort is going to make a difference, it's worth doing. So follow that.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mellissa, it has been such a pleasure to have you on the show. This has been it's an amazing conversation. I'm so thrilled. I'm so excited. It's like, yeah, I feel like I've been just challenged slightly here to get my book done. So yes, thank you for all of that. To Miss Mellissa T, the Procrastination Bully. I'm going to put your information up on the screen one last time, people, so they can just see it. If you guys need to get that book out, you need to go to this boot camp called what is it? Truth to Transformation. The 4-week book boot camp. It starts August 31st. So you guys, you got a little bit of time left. Go to that website. It's bootcamp.melissathomas.co/sign up. And that's Mellissa with 2 L's and 2 S's. You guys make sure you get this in, because y'all know y'all got books out there. You know you got books inside. You've been talking about you was going to write a book, and I'm talking about myself right now. I've been talking about I was going to write a book for the last year and ain't got it out yet.
Hello.
So hello. Y'all better make it happen. So hopefully I will see you guys there, but you make sure that you go sign up for this, because she is very, very, very good at what she does. Very, very cautious about what she does. And she's very skilled at what she does and very gifted. So once again, Mellissa T, thank you once again to Procrastination Bully for being on the show. All right, Alpha Intuition family, that is it for us today. This has been an amazing episode. You guys know I like hearing from you. So if Mellissa has said anything that has sparked anything inside of you, please make sure that you leave her a comment. Leave me a comment, and you already know where to find her. If not, just put it down there, because I know some of y'all probably listening, not watching. I will put it in the comments for you. So just look in the description, and I'll try to make sure I have her information there for you. But you guys already know that the journey to the top of any mountain begins with one single step. So don't stop, keep climbing. And you guys, as always, remember, y'all keep that energy.